Hey, man. Yeah, what's up, man? Are these fidget spinners? Yeah. Why? Nothing, man. Just wondering why you have so many of them. Yo, didn't these go out of style like a while ago? Okay, well, if you must know, I have so many of them because I used to sell them. Second of all, why are you just digging through my stuff? You used to sell these? These things were the hotness back in the day. Why'd you keep them all? Man, if I couldn't sell all these things, I'd probably just throw them away. Bro, I don't know. I guess I kept them because one day I wanted to teach people how I screwed up trying to sell these things. Seriously, why are you still going through my drawers without asking? Huh, what do you mean by screwed up? Like you lost money on them or something? How much money did you lose? Okay. First of all, rude. Second of all, I don't know, bro. Never done the math. It's not really something I enjoy dwelling on. Huh, that makes sense. Maybe you should. Okay, I think we're done here. Put my cookies down and why are you eating my cookies anyway? Oh my gosh, I hate this so much. I went back and forth for weeks trying to decide whether or not to even make this video. I've tried to forget just how much money I spent chasing a dream, but for you guys, I decided to dig back all the way to 2016 and calculate just how much money I've spent trying to find the right business for me. I'll be publishing a video soon where I go into detail on every single one of these failed business ideas and what I learned from each. All right, now that we got all that out of the way, let the painful memories begin. So this idea was to make printable paper templates for building furniture. This was during the peak of the DIY furniture building craze. To make the paper templates, I needed to build some furniture, disassemble it, then make templates people could use to cut out the wood pieces for themselves. Now, at the time, I didn't have any power tools, so I bought a used table saw for around $100, a used miter saw for $100, a circular saw for $230, and an impact driver. So if we add all that together, I spent a total of $630 on this idea. Again, check back for part 2 where we'll discuss why these ideas didn't work. Moving on. Now, around this time, I was dabbling with licensing my own product ideas. The first idea and prototype was a clothes hamper shaped like a shark. The idea was to encourage kids to put their dirty clothes in a clothes hamper by making the chore fun to do. So in order to make the prototype, I bought 2 books for $20 each and a shark costume for $56. This means I spent $96 on this idea, which brings our overall total to $726. Now, while I was working on the shark hamper, I was simultaneously working on an idea to keep book covers from sliding off of books while you read them. In hindsight, there probably wasn't a huge demand for this idea, but hey, I was excited to start inventing. I spent a grand total of $15 in card stock and magnets. So now we're at $741. And in case you're thinking this sounds a lot like I've only lost chump change, trust me, it's gonna get way worse. So I got into the fidget spinner selling business way before it was cool. You know, no big deal, kind of a trendsetter. I needed quite a bit to get this one off the ground. I needed product, which included 2 fidget spinner samples at $50 each, an initial order of 200 spinners and magnetic putty for $800, which included the packaging, a heat gun, and a designer for the brand label, which cost me $153.75. And I also spent $50 for 1 month of a program called Jungle Scout. That's the program I used that helped me to find the product to sell in the first place. I also needed a way to photograph my products for Amazon. I bought my first real camera, a Nikon D5300 kit, an extra lens, a portable photo booth, and some small lights. This was my first real leap into a real business, so I tried to play it relatively safe by freeing up some cash. I sold my IWI Tavor for $800 to offset the cost of this venture. I also sold that Nikon camera and lens kit years later for $468. That depreciation sucks. All right, so in total, I spent $2,541.75 on this venture, but after selling the Tavor and the camera a few years down the road, that brings the total down to $1,273.75. So factoring all that in, that brings our current total loss to $2,014.75. Depending on how you look at it, yes, that camera was the biggest expense, but I was planning on buying one anyway. The photos of my family that I captured with that camera are memories that I'll cherish forever, and can you really put a price on that? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. About $1,273.75 to be precise. Anyway, moving on. Yes, I tried my hand at dropshipping. I tried to dropship women's fashion accessories. Why? I have no idea, but that's what I did. All I spent on this one was $100 for a website. No huge loss there. I learned a lot about drop shipping, so I consider this to be a $100 lesson. This brings our grand total to this. So, print on demand. I tried getting in on the Southern prep craze by making my own t-shirts. I can't draw to save my life, but I wasn't gonna let a little thing like that get in the way of me making millions hawking t-shirts. Instead of hiring a freelance designer, I had the brilliant idea to teach myself how to sketch out designs on the newly released at the time iPad Pro. That iPad set me back a cool $1,200. Along with the iPad, I needed a drawing program called Procreate, a website, and some stock photos of models to put my designs on. In total, I spent $1,330 on this venture, which brings our grand total to $3,444.75. Side note, my son actually inherited that iPad Pro and he still uses it today for homeschool and learning video editing, so it's not a total loss. This is me just trying to justify myself to you. Is it working? Okay, I thought not. Let me be clear. I think that product licensing is still a viable business model. I'm going to revisit this someday. There is some serious potential for true passive income here. That said, I did spend $3,168.05 on this one. What'd you just say? Yeah, I spent $122.30 on prototype materials, $150 on a used router to build the prototype, $200 on digital prototypes, $150 on sales sheets, and $2,545.75 on a course. In my defense, the course was solid. The only reason this one didn't work out is because I stupidly took the course while I was deployed. That's for another video. So this brings our grand total to $6,612.80. Why am I doing this video again? Do y'all remember when YouTube was flooded with hustle culture content? I certainly do, and I was hooked. When I was working a few states away in Houston, Texas, I decided to try my hand at the resale game. I went to thrift stores and garage sales looking for stuff to resell. The numbers are a little fuzzy on this one, but the number that I came up with was around $1,450 worth of product purchased, along with the $70 light kit. I sold about $890 worth of product before I shut it down. This means in total, I spent $630 on this venture, which brings our overall total to $7,242.80. We are 9 ventures down and still have 5 more to go. And we haven't even gotten to the real heavy hitters yet. Oh, man. Real estate investing is one of the greatest wealth creators of all time. But I didn't want to get into single family houses, so instead, I found a little known niche called land investing or raw land flipping. Now this one started off cheap with a $15 book purchase, which quickly snowballed out of control into me buying a $2,700 course. Come again? Again. The course was amazing and the tools they offered were great too. I spent $75 for 1 month access to land parcel software, $177 on 300 land offer mailers, and I even purchased a piece of land to flip for $800. Now, full disclosure, even though I did buy that piece of land, I was never able to sell it. This is another business venture I think has a lot of potential, but I just never really gave it the time to really dial this one in. This was a $3,767 loss or lesson, depending on how you look at it. Most days I view it as a lesson, but today it's a loss because it brings our grand total past the 10K mark to $11,009.80. Finally, we're at the first of 3 attempts to build up a YouTube channel. Initially, this started out with me trying to exploit my wife and her ability to bake. We started off trying to make ASMR style cooking videos, and for that, I needed to upgrade my tech. I bought some new to me camera gear to include the Fujifilm X-T3, the Fujifilm X-S10, 16 to 80 f4 lens. I also picked up the Fujifilm 16mm f1.4 lens. I picked up a few SD cards, a new to me computer, and some software to include Canva Pro and an Epidemic Sound subscription. This means my little YouTube experiment ended up costing me $4,514. This one doesn't really hurt my feelings because I've captured some amazing moments with my cameras. Now, what does hurt my feelings is the total topping out at $15,523.80. And we're still not done. Let's get into the real heavy hitters. This is by far the single largest loss I've taken. I've always hated the idea of using the stock market to generate wealth, but I let some folks talk me into it, so I decided to try it out. Now, initially, I made some decent money off of it, but in one move, I lost it all and more. I was one of those gullible people who got sucked into the GameStop short squeeze. I bought into AMC stock, and Robinhood locked us all out from buying any more stock, which caused the share prices to tank. Now, as a result, the $11,600 I put into the 3,962 shares I had between AMC, Fuel Cell, and Doge has now tanked to $2,640.42. Now, doing some quick maths means that I lost $8,959.58 in the stock market. Now, some people might say those aren't actual losses because I haven't cashed out. I disagree. I'll have to hold on to these stocks for a decade or more to get my money back out, which I view as a loss. This one really stings because I asked my wife to trust me when I pulled the money from savings and I tried to make a quick buck. I broke my most sacred rule: never go with the crowd. Always try to find your way. So this brings our grand total to $24,483.38 in losses. Oh man, are we having fun yet? So after that colossal failure, my wife and I decided to pick something and work on it together. Baker's Dozen was a go yet again. This time we decided to go all in and even rebranded the channel to Baker's Dozen School of Breadcraft and Biscuitry. Harry Potter nerds unite. There's a lot to unpack in these next two sections, so let's rapid fire these off. Film area, main camera lens, secondary camera lens, overhead camera, first YouTube Shorts camera, first YouTube Shorts camera lens, second YouTube Shorts camera, camera monitors ×2, thumbnail lens, camera charging accessories, upgraded lights, portable lights, more tripods, voiceover audio, talking head audio, first editing machine, first editing software, second editing machine, second editing software, first computer monitor, Logitech keyboard, Logitech mouse, speakers, headphones, 2 slow hard drives, 3 fast hard drives, Anchor hubs, website, upgraded desk, Canva Pro, and an Epidemic Sound subscription. Oh my goodness. Let's see what the damage is. $11,532. Wait, hold on. Is that right? Are you hold on 1 second. Ain't no way. Borrow my wife's readers here. Let's see. Carry the 2. Wow. So yeah, so that brings the total to $36,015.38. And we still got one more to go. All right. So after me and my wife decided to end uploading to her channel, I set out to make my own. I kept a lot of the same equipment, but when we moved houses, I decided to invest even more money into this channel for reasons. Upgraded main camera, camera cage, top handle, and side handle, primary lens, secondary lens, macro lens, memory card for main camera, memory card reader, variable ND filters, various extra batteries, upgraded tripod, batteries for external monitors, 360 camera, big ass selfie stick, camera gimbal, phone gimbal, first audio upgrade, second audio upgrade, teleprompter Pro subscription, computer for scripting, first monitor upgrade, upgraded key light, RGB lights that I don't use anymore, room decorations, more decorations, even more decorations, more lighting, that one overhead shot I did that one time, Pomodoro technique timer, portable chargy thingy, a replacement for the camera that I should have never sold in the first place, 2 Bibles since I really got deep into faith during this journey, third editing machine, stereo audio switcher. The first time I didn't order enough storage from my Mac Studio because Apple charges way too much for an upgrade. The sequel to not ordering enough storage on my Mac Studio because Apple charges way too much for an upgrade. Second monitor upgrade because why the heck not? Upgrade to iPhone 15 Pro Max because Marques Brownlee told me to. Stock footage for when I'm feeling lazy. Game-changing editing software that's worth every damn penny. Third editing software upgrade. Thumbnail generator thingy. Music generator thingy. And the Mo Data Mo Problem Solver. My stomach literally hurts right now. And, alright, whatever. Let's get this over with. So far, I've invested $14,468 into this channel. And yes, I am using the word invested in a non-sarcastic manner. Thank you very much. This brings our grand total to $50,501.38. Now, hold on. Surely, I couldn't just lose all this money over the past 8 years and be doing just fine, right? Well, it's a little more complicated than that. While yes, I am a ridiculous man who goes a little too hard with his passions, I'm not entirely brain dead. Let's add up all the money I made by selling off old gear and money I made on the side, flipping vehicles and profiting off of my house during the housing bubble. So after selling all these items and profiting off of some sales, we find that I was able to reclaim $42,864, which brings our overall total down to $7,637.38. Now, when you factor that in, it's not that bad. Now don't get me wrong, it still sucks, but it takes a lot of the sting out, just a bit. All that said, I don't regret any of these expensive lessons. I try to be smart about my money and don't buy hugely depreciating assets like new vehicles. While I may have lost $50,501 over the last 8 years, lots of people could easily lose more than that from the depreciation on their vehicles alone. If you spread out my losses over 8 years, that comes out to a loss of $6,312 per year or $526 per month. Most people spend more than that financing their new vehicles, dining at nice restaurants, or vacations. I try to buy most of my vehicles at the very bottom of the depreciation curve, and I can usually sell them for a profit later if I'm willing to put in some sweat equity and fix them up prior to selling. Now, we don't go out to eat a whole lot either, since me and my wife prefer to cook whenever we can. And as far as vacations, I would never deny my family the opportunity to explore interesting places. We're just smart about it and how much we spend. It's all about what your priorities are. My priorities for the last 8 years have been to try and build up a business for myself. That's where I decide to spend my money. So far, it hasn't worked out, but I learned from each and every failure along the way. And I'm still here, 8 years later, with ridiculous optimism trying to make that dream a reality. And finally, none of this will be possible without the love and support of my wife. If your spouse doesn't believe in your dreams and what you're trying to accomplish, maybe you need to do a better job proving to him or her that you're trustworthy. My wife trusts that my crazy ideas will never put our family's financial security at risk. This makes it much easier for her to stand beside me when things are going great, or to get behind me and push me forward when things are hitting a low point. I hope this video has given you some insight and that you learned from my mistakes. This video absolutely sucked to put together. Now I'm sure there'll be at least one hateful person who feels the need to call me stupid in the comment section. That's totally fine. I don't care. Negative opinions don't hurt my feelings in the slightest. These failures have paid me back tenfold in the lessons that they have taught me. Lessons that I still use today in my full-time career and personal life. And one day, just maybe, these will be lessons that can help one of you achieve your goals as well. Man, I am so fired up right now. I don't know what it is just after making this video, but I'm ready to get at it. I appreciate y'all, I really do. I want y'all to go take it easy. I'm gonna go start on the next video. Let's get at it. I'm out.